Hi, good morning. Is it still morning? Oh, yes, I still have a little morning left. So, I'm going to read Ecclesiastes chapter 4. The whole chapter, actually, 1 through 16. So, I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter, and on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Wherefore I praise the dead, which are already dead, more than the living, which are yet alive. Yea, better is he than both they which have not yet been, who have not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. So, in this first part, we're talking about what I said about oppressions, right? When you are under oppression, you feel like you have no comforter whatsoever. See, for me, I don't know why this passage is hard right now. On the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. So, God is judging. That's what's going on. God is judging. So, God is oppressing at this current time. That sounds like, what is going on? God is oppressing at this current time, and there is no comfort whatsoever for the people. Not nan. And that's just verses 1 through 3, where God is saying, nobody has a comforter at this current time. I am oppressing all at this current time. So you have to dig yourself out of oppression. You have to show me that you are worthy of being out of oppression by working yourself out. So God put everyone through an oppression phase, right? God put everyone through an oppression phase. So it was a test of wills, right? This has been a test of wills this entire season. And this season has been going on since 2019, right? So this is a test of oppression. So for those who feel heavy and weighted down, like I said, you didn't pass your mayat. Your heart is heavier than a feather. So understand that. And that's why you're going through what you're going through. And you will continue to go through it until the day you die, right? Told you. The race is over and you're still running. Everybody else that went home. The marathon is over. This was an actual sprint. You guys had to hurry up. Right. This wasn't no marathon. My bad. The marathon been over. That was your entire life. When 2019 hit and people started acting a crazy total fool, then a sprint occurred. Right. The race changed. You had to hurry up and get to that finish line. You know the ones where they had the holes in the things in their hand and they're running with them and passing them. Right. That's what we had went into. We went into one of them dashes. Right. We went into a dash. And y'all was still on a marathon. So God said that you need to hurry up and get to that finish line. Well, those people who understood it was a dash, right, they're gone, right? The ones who are heavy-hearted, heavy-weighted, ignorant, malicious, ignorant, belligerent still, right, you are the ones who are still in a marathon. Let me tell you, as I was saying, the race is over. Everyone is packed up. The vendors are gone. You guys are still running, though. You guys are still jogging. And the race has been over. Everybody else, people in the stands are gone. The other contestants are gone who understood that it was a sprint. They're gone. You guys are still running like it's a marathon, right? You're jogging when it was a sprint, right? You're supposed to be doing suicides. And you running around skipping, right? So you are still in a race when the race been over, right? Right. Sun went down and everything, and y'all still running outside. Everybody else has gone home, dear marathoners, right? Right. Verse 4. Again, I considered all travail and every right work. That for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This is also a vanity and vexation of spirit. The fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. Better is a handful with quietness then both the hands full with travail and vexation of spirit. Then I returned and I saw vanity under the sun. And this is all about vanity, of course. Vanity is a major character flaw. When it's all about you, it can't be about anybody else, not even God. Right? I mean, a vain person, hello, I just said it's all about them. There's no room for anyone else, right? They don't care about their kids. They don't care about family members, friends, or God, right? They don't care about anybody but themselves. That's what vanity is all about. Me, myself, right? And I. It's all about you, right? So understand, when you're vain, it doesn't matter if you have children and stuff. That's just a prop. They're props, right? Your friends are props. Your family members, the time you spend with them is, right, a show. They're props at the time. In your all about me show, right? So, the fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh, right? So you sitting there all prim and proper, right? Being someone else, being a clone, right? You're eating your own flesh up, right? You're eating your own flesh. You're Jabba the Hutt, right? Because you are pretending to have done a good work, but all you're doing is being envious of another person, right? And what they stand for. You're being envious of another person, wanting to have what they stand for, but not actually standing, right, for what they stand for. You want to have what they stand for without actually standing for what they stand for, right? Better is a handful with quietness than both the hands full with travail and vexation of spirit. Then I returned and I saw vanity under the sun. Verse 8, there is one alone, and there is not a second. There is one alone, and there is not a second. Yea, he hath neither child nor brother. Yet is there no end of all his labor. Neither is his eye satisfied with riches, neither saith he, for whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good. There is also vanity, yet it is a sore travail. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Right? That's why God gives you help. He says you need help in this world, but you need to be an honest person, and you need to have honest help with you. Right? He says you can't mix good and bad. It doesn't work. You can't mix good and evil. It doesn't work. Right? Positive and negative, yes, they do work, but that's only for a charge. Right? Until that battery runs out. Right? Until that system runs out. Right? Or till a connection is broken. Right? Positive and negative are not to be together always. At some point, they have to be shut down, right? Or it will lose its power, right? Again, if two lie together, verse 14. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken. So if you have a brother that is down with you, that is positive with you, that truly wholeheartedly supports you, there's no reason for you to fall or fail in life, because you both should be checking. Gosh, you should be a checks and balance with each other. That is the whole point of having another person in your life. That is the point of your yin and yang. And one should not always be a yin and one should not always be a yang. You both should always sit down and be quiet. You should both always, be interchangeable with one another. When one is in one state, you should be in the other state, right? To a degree, right? Since everybody's twin. And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not easily broken. 13. Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. Right. A poor wise child is better to God than a foolish king. A foolish king is a disgust to God, because at the end of the day, God said, if you are put in a position to where you are in charge of a multitude of people and you clowning, that whole nation gonna die, right? And that's gonna be your fault, right? And God will hold you accountable for all those deaths, right? So he said, I'd rather have a wise child sitting in your seat than your dumb ass, right? And God has ass in the book, the Bible, right? A donkey, a jackass, and that's what I meant when I said dumb ass, right? 14. For out of prison he cometh to reign, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. Out of prison he cometh to reign, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. I consider it all the living which walk under the sun, with the second child that shall stand up in his stead. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. Let me chew on this one. With the second child that shall stand up in his stead. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. To me, that just sounds like a bunch of fluff that somebody threw in this Bible, right? That's why God said, filter things out, talk to him. Don't pick and choose what you want to listen to. Filter things out and, ask him. Because I'm just like, what does that have to do with that? Right? I consider all the living which walk under the sun. So someone is considering every human being. Okay, so someone is saying that the second child that will be born, they walk with this person. This particular set walks with a child that is born. So there's another child that is born. There's another child that is born. So the first child, of course, is Jesus. The second child is, of course, you can say whatever, right? And there's a second child that is born. And those who walk with that second child that is on earth at this current time, while Davinia is on earth at this current time, those are the ones who God. What you saying, God? Okay, so those who walk with me are definitely God's children. Okay, I'm like, dang. I'm like, this is like a bunch of fluff. All right, I'm not supposed to understand that part. But I did, right, he broke it down. Those who walk with me are God says, yes, you are mine, you are mine, you are mine. Don't worry, your position is secure. Those who do not walk with me at this current time, no, your position is not secure. Please understand that. Because what are you people? Vain, right? Vain, right? Vain and vexed. You people are vain and vexed. You are vexed with Davinia because of your vanity, right? Your vanity caused you to lose everything, right? You want Davinia to be vain like you so she can lose everything. No, Davinia is not vain and she will not lose anything because she is not vain and vexed, right? Davinia deals with situations as they come and she lets them go before she goes to bed, like she said, right? You folks hold on to those situations and that's what makes you vexed, right? So anything that you deem better than you, more worthy than you, may look better than you, may feel, smell, whatever better than you, whatever you feel is better than you, because Davinia never said she was better than anybody, right? Whatever you feel is better than you, you put yourself beneath her. She didn't say you were beneath her, right? So, right, she's been trying to uplift you people for the longest, but you won't do it, right? So with that being stated, whatever you feel is better than you, you want it to become vain so it can be taken down the same way you were. No, it's not going to happen. Right, that's what that passage is saying right there. Right. And she walks with the lion. She walks with the lamb. She walks with God. Right. The lion. Right. The lamb. God is the first lion. Right. Jesus is the lamb. Right. Davinia walks with them both. Exactly. Right. Never strayed, right? Davinia never gave up her Christianity, right? See, people think when you have bad behaviors and stuff like that, you didn't stray away from God. No, you didn't. Saying I am no longer a Christian is straying away from God, right? Because as long as you keep your Christianity and don't denounce it and tell God, I need a break from you, I'm going away from you, because that's denouncing your Christianity, then, right, you gave up your seat on the bus and you walked off the bus. Don't come back, right, and be like, that's my seat when somebody else is sitting in it, right? Now you got to pay another fee because you got off the bus, right? You have to repay a fee to get back on the bus, right? You can't just get off and then be like, right, run to the next stop real quick before the bus get there and hop back on and say, I was just on the bus. What you mean? Right. That's not how this works. And that person's in my seat. No, that's not how this works. You have to pay another fee. And then you can't harass that person saying, and if you do pay another fee, you can't say, well, I was just sitting there. You not sitting here now, right? You gave up your seat, right? So you don't have the right to get back on the bus for free. And you do not have the right to take that seat back, right? Because that seat is open to the public, right? That particular seat is open to the public, right? So if it's open, whoever walks on can sit there if they so choose, right? Right. So you can't give up your spot with God and then run back and say, I want it back now. That's not how it works, right? You have to pay a price, right? And if that seat is taken, it's taken, right? You got to you got to sit wherever it is. And if there's no seats, guess what? You got to stand up until there is a seat available. Exactly. Until somebody finished an assignment that was given to them. Then you can sit down, but you won't have their assignment. You'll be given another one, right? Because you didn't go to that person's destination. They already got off the bus, right? So you can't go to their destination. Number one, you don't know where they're going. And that wasn't your destination in the first place. You were going somewhere else. So that's what I say about copying someone and wanting someone else's blessing, gift. You weren't thinking about it, right? Wanting to jump in on someone's project, you weren't thinking about it, right? So how can you steal it, right? You can't even, right? You paid a fee to get back on that bus, so now you got to sit in that seat since that person got up and got off, right? You don't know where they're going, right? Right. Not your assignment, right? Not your goal, right? Not even where you were going, correct? So, Ecclesiastes 4, chapter 4, verses 1 through 16. See, I like when God hides. So that's what he said. The Bible is full of mysteries. So he was hiding a particular passage about myself. And that was cute. Because I always understood this passage before. And so just now it was like, it sounds like a bunch of fluff, right? But my abilities have strengthened so I can break things down better than what I used to. So, right. He was hiding that from me. But guess what? Right. Because I was picking it up and then I got a little mixy with it. And I was like, what in the world? But it doesn't matter, right? It does not matter. So this was all about vanity. Vanity gets you nowhere, right? And then you try to make people vain because you know vanity took you down, right? You try to big people up, make them vain, and then break them down. No, I'm sorry. I'm smarter than that. I'm stronger than that. I have high self-esteem, right? I'm not conceited. I have a high self-esteem. I have a positive amount of self-esteem, right? Self-esteem is supposed to be high, right? It's supposed to be very high, right? When you go into conceitedness, that's just your ego, your head. That's not your self-esteem, because a lot of people who are vain have very low self-esteem, right? A lot of people who are braggarts have low self-esteem. That's why they're out there talking about what they got. That's why they're out there showboating. That's why they're out there getting their grills all shined up and fixed and all of that stuff. Now, if you truly have a problem yourself with how you look, fine, right? Let me have low self-esteem, but I mean, when you start taking out your issues, because I would fix that if that was me, that's you, right? That's you. Do not look at something that you find to be unpleasing, but do not tell that person that they are unpleasant to look at. What you do is you remove yourself from that person's social media because you choose to tra-la-la over here and look at a very beautiful work of art and get jealous over it and then try and disrespect it. Trust me, when a person has high self-esteem, they can look like a whole ass booty hole to the world, right? But to themselves, they are the most beautifulest thing in the world. And I always tell people, it doesn't matter what if I think you're ugly or not, if I think you're unattractive, right? If you love yourself and you feel good about yourself and you have a healthy self-esteem and you're not conceited, great. Everyone should think they're beautiful. I always tell people that everybody should think they're beautiful, even if I don't think you're beautiful, right? Because there's some people I do think, But guess what? You're not supposed to think you're an ugly person yourself. You're supposed to think you're beautiful, right? That's why God didn't make everybody attracted to everybody. Everybody would be hounding everybody. Exactly. So people are supposed to have taste, right? But you yourself aren't supposed to think you're ugly. Never. Doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what you've been through, right? A rape shouldn't make you think you're ugly. An abusive relationship shouldn't make you think you look ugly. People bullying you and teasing you shouldn't make you think you look ugly. If you think you look ugly, that's because you have no self-esteem and you need to talk to God and a counselor and check yourself, right? Boosh, right? You had that ugly mirror talk, right? Had that mirror talk with that phone, and had an ugly cry. You know how I told you to do it. Get up on that and slide down and be ugly with it, right? But do not take your low self-esteem issues out on someone like me who does not have low self-esteem, right? I do not, right? I attack you once you have stomped on me like I'm a piece of shit, right? On fire, right? When you stomping on me like I'm a piece of shit on fire, that's when I totally attack you. I sure do. I dig all up in your ass. Like I'm a proctologist, like I am disimpacting you. Like that's what I had to do as a nurse. I had to go in and digitally remove crap out of people's behinds, right? And that's how I get up in your ass when you totally disrespect the hell out of me like you ain't got no damn sense, right? I have no problems with it, right? Read your Bible. God get up on your ass. Yes, he do. Call you an ass. Yes, he do. And said I could use the ass to speak for me before I use you, right? He said, the same way I can use you as a person to talk for me, I can go get a damn donkey to say the same thing. So how worthy are you? I almost said the B word. How worthy are you? Let me get up off this. Have a good one.